They say the woods in Meade County never really go quiet. If you stand still long enough, you can hear whispers carried on the wind. Not words, exactly, but warnings. Now, I'm a skeptic at heart. I didn't believe in witches, not in the way the old stories tell them, not until I met the one they say never died. The legend goes like this. Back in the 1800s, a woman named Eleanor Price lived deep in the woods outside Brandenburg. She was a healer, a woman of the earth. She made her living mixing herbs, treating fevers, and helping mothers deliver their babies. She was a part of the community. But when the crops failed and a terrible sickness spread through the town, fear and superstition took over. The townsfolk, desperate for someone to blame, turned on her. They twisted her healing into something sinister. They said she'd cursed the land, said she'd made a deal with something dark, something that lived in the shadows of the forest. One night, driven by panic, they dragged her from her home. By morning, she was gone. The stories differ on what happened next. Some say they hanged her from a great oak tree. Others whisper a more chilling tale, that she simply vanished before the rope ever tightened, swallowed by the woods that had always been her true home. Fast forward to now. I was out there filming a local history piece for my channel, trying to find the ruins of her old cabin. The locals have a name for the place, Price Hollow. It's not easy to find, and most people will tell you to just stay away. When I finally found it, there wasn't much left. Just some old, rotting timbers being reclaimed by the forest, and that heavy Appalachian silence that makes your skin crawl. You know, the kind of quiet, It's so absolute, it feels loud. But the second I stepped past the tree line, I felt it. This immediate shift. It was like a pressure change. Like the air itself had thickened and was pressing in on me. It felt like the entire forest was holding its breath, waiting. The first thing that hit me was the smell. It was strange. Burnt sage, a scent of cleansing, but mixed with something sweet and cloying, like decaying flowers. It was an aroma of life and death all at once. Then I found it. Hidden under a thick blanket of moss was a circle of stones, perfectly placed. And right in the middle, half buried in the dark, rich dirt, was a rusted iron cauldron. It was the kind of discovery that makes your heart pound. A real, tangible link to the past, to the legend. I pulled out my camera, ready to document everything. I took a few photos, the modern flash cutting through the ancient gloom. The moment the flash went off, I heard it. Footsteps right behind me. Slow, deliberate, heavy. The sound of bare feet on dry, crackling leaves. My blood ran cold. I spun around, camera still in hand, expecting to see another hiker, maybe a local who'd followed me. But there was nothing. Just the dense wall of trees and the thick, swirling fog that had started to roll in. That's when the whispering started. It wasn't in my head, it was all around me, coming from every direction at once. It sounded like dozens of voices overlapping, a chaotic murmur you couldn't quite make out. But through that wall of sound, one voice cut through, clear and sharp as ice, a woman's voice. It said, "You shouldn't have come here." My camera, fully charged just minutes before, went completely dead. The screen just blinked out. Instantly, the air got colder. Not just a little chill, but a biting, unnatural cold. that went straight to the bone. And that smell of burnt sage and rot grew so strong it was almost suffocating. I started backing away, my eyes darting into the shadows, my feet stumbling over roots. But with every step I took, something moved in the periphery of my vision, a flicker of movement, the snap of a branch in my left, the feeling of hot breath on the back of my neck. Panic finally took over. I broke into a dead run, not daring to look back, just crashing through the undergrowth, branches whipping at my face. I didn't stop until my feet hit the gravel of the old dirt road I'd parked on, gasping for air, my heart hammering against my ribs. I finally turned to look back at the tree line, and that's when I saw her. Standing at the very edge of the woods, partially obscured by the fog, was a woman. She was pale, with long, stringy black hair that hung over her shoulders. She wore a dress so old and tattered it looked like it belonged in another century, but it was her eyes I'll never forget. They were black, not dark brown, not shadowed by the low light. They were solid, empty, obsidian. She just stood there, watching me. Then she slowly raised her hand, and I swear to you, the air around her wavered and shimmered, like heat rising off hot pavement on a summer day. I didn't wait to see what would happen next. I scrambled into my truck, fumbled with the keys, and gunned it out of there, kicking up a cloud of dust and gravel. I didn't even think to check my footage until the next day, after the sun was up and I felt safe in my own home. But when I finally did, my heart stopped all over again. I managed to recover the file, but the video was mostly corrupted, just static and distorted noise, except for one single, solitary frame. One frame that had somehow survived. It showed a woman's face, terrifyingly close to the lens, her mouth open in a silent scream of pure agony. But the thing that truly haunts me is what was behind her. In the static, you could just make out a shadow, a tall, human-shaped figure, and in the place where its eyes should be were 2 points of light that burned with a piercing white intensity. I had to know. A few days later, I went back in the bright light of day, telling myself it was all just my imagination running wild. But when I got to the clearing, the stone circle was still there, but the cauldron, it was gone. And where it had been, there was nothing but a circle of scorched, blackened earth. As I was about to leave, I saw something new, carved into the bark of a nearby tree. The cuts, fresh and raw, were 3 words. The Hollow remembers. I haven't been back since. Some stories you learn aren't just stories. And some places remember. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any stories of your own, share them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the unknown. Stay safe out there.